Good evening, everybody. Yes, so the good thing when you have something broken is that you can fix it. So you can do something interesting. So I'm Eric Leblond. I'm one of the co-founder and the CTO of Stammus Networks. I'm developing on Suricata since 2009. So yes, as you can guess from my jacket, I'm going to talk about Suricata. So Suricata, it's an IPS, so it can fill up your SIM easily, like we have seen in one of the first talk. And so it's a complex tool, 600,000 lines of code, written in C and Rust. And it does a lot of things. It's an IDS, it's an IPS, it does network transaction logging, pickup recording, and it can extract files. And it has some nice feature that was been introduced in 2014, which are the Lua support. So you can use Lua in two ways. You can use Lua to write data and do any arbitrary writing on disk using the data from the protocol. You can parse things in Lua, and then you can do your own output format. And you have also the thing that was looking really promising, which is the Lua usage in signature, when you can build dynamic detection, you get some buffer, you work on the buffer with all the power of Lua, and you can do the detection. So 2014, Lua was introduced, and it was on the path to the best success ever in terms of feature, because 2014 was Heartbleed. What is Heartbleed? The perfect use case for Lua. Because it was one obscure message in the TLS protocol that we were not parsing at the time, that was used to exfiltrate memory certificates from server and stuff like this. So the big noise. And the day of the introduction of the publication of Heartbleed, Victor Julien, the initiator of the project Suricata, came with this signature that says, okay, I see some TLS coming to my server with good headers, and if it's the case, I'm going to run a Lua script that is going to take the faulty OpenSSL code rewritten in Lua, and is going to alert if ever I'm in one of the case, which is one of the cases where we have a problem. So, yes, that was just magical. Big usage of a feature, the day of a feature. But let's look at the Lua usage over time after that. Yeah. There is just one bright PhD researcher at Proofpoint that is using the feature. And he has a GitHub repository where he talks about that. He does talk at Suricon, but there is no usage of this Lua feature. Never it has been fully adopted. Never we managed to get Heartbleed 2 with some people developing that. And so, yeah, a big failure. The reason is simple. The Lua used by Suricata is coming from the system. So you need to have Lua on the system to be able to run the signature. And Lua is not the most well managed in terms of feature programming language. So the different version can have really different way to be used. So if you don't know the Lua version you are going to be able to access, you are going to not be able to write the rules that go to the right. You don't know what Lua modules you have, so you don't know what you can use. So all of that made that it was really complicated. For the Lua output, yes, nobody found a really good use case, even if there is some, but yes, so it was a big fail, nobody used it. So basically it was kind of a bit forgotten. And then we got what we call in French, l'effet de la grenouille dans la marmite. If you put frogs in some cold water and you make the water go warm and warm, she's not realizing, and then you cook the frog. We don't cook the frog like that in France, just for clarification, but yes. So in fact, things have changed slowly. So in 2014, the way we were building the rule set was not with rule set, like we have seen today. It was with, you just have one provider of signature, like Proofpoint, Snort, or stuff like that. And you were having potentially some internal signature developed inside. So basically, trusted partner on yourself. So it was okay. Signature are trusted input from trusted people. But in 2023, your rule set is built also using some random GitHub repositories, some by a Russian company, some by American company. So you don't really know what you're going to get. So we cannot really trust the signature anymore. And what did happen is that 2014 we introduced the feature, and then we did not think about the fact that the landscape was changing. And as a result, I start to realize that on 2 CVE, one on the dataset, one of the feature, we could just write any arbitrary file on disk. That was okay. But we did not control the content. That was the good part. And the second one was the CV on Lua, because Lua, it's a language. It can do stuff. So if somebody injects a Lua signature in one source that you are using, they can run code on your system as the user running Suricata. So yes, not super pretty. Yep, exactly. So yep, you can execute Lua code. So yes, so then we realized the problem and we said, okay, we need to fix that. So it's now disabled by default because it was built in large distribution, like for example, Debian Linux. Lua, it was embedded inside the package. So it was accessible for everybody. So that's really a problem. So yeah, so now, since 2023, it is fixed and we have Lua that is disabled and you can activate Lua when you need it. So yeah, it's a failure. Let's try again. So let's iterate. So my name is Lua and I live on the second floor. Yeah, so we need to take into account the fact that we have an open distribution and that we cannot trust the input. So we need security on the way we want to distribute, so we need a reproducibility. So the strategy that was taken was to re-implement it with a sandbox version of Lua, so we can not easily get out of the capability and we limit the function, on a vendor Lua, which means that Lua is coming with a version of Suricata, so all the rule writers that are writing for Suricata 8 know that they have this version of Lua that is accessible. And also because it's easy to make slothing and then just because the IDS get the traffic, so if the CPU is used to do stupid stuff, but you don't do the real stuff, so you manage to get a notice. So there is also some CPU credit limitation, so you manage to lower the noise, lower the impact if ever somebody is putting the wrong signature. So, to conclude, a feature is as good as it is for the ecosystem. If the ecosystem is not ready to welcome the feature, you are going to fail. Documentation and evangelization is the first part of coding. The second part of coding, coding is the first part, and the second part is to evangelize. And yes, and question the status quo. Try to look at your risk model your risk model from time to time. Things that may have evolved without you changing, so you may end up with some problem that were not existing before. So yeah, Suricata on Lua, we will see. Will it work? We fix the problem. Will it be enough? See you in 10 years.